Hi, I am Roberta with Fair Observer. In this clip, regenerative agriculture specialist Rob Avis explains how beaver-built wetlands restore water cycles, boost biodiversity by 28 times, and turn what looks like damage into a living solution for healthier watersheds.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. I mean, there's lots of problems, and so we're going to try and focus today on the concepts of regeneration. So I think it's worth understanding what this word regeneration means and what's behind it, and then we can kind of dig into some specific problems that are top of mind. So I like to think about the world right now in three buckets or three paradigms. The first paradigm is the one that a growing number of people are starting to push back against, which is what I call the conventional system. And this is kind of business as usual, constantly increasing GDP, doing what's best for the shareholders, kind of ignoring all of the other liabilities that are created as a result of kind of this paradigm. And I think everybody pretty much knows that at some point the party's going to end with regards to this paradigm. It can't keep going on. We're running out of ocean. We're running out of soil. We're running out of air. Our food nutrient density is dropping dramatically and has over the last 100 years, continues to drop. We have an endocrine crisis. So like male fertility is dropping. Our testosterone levels are plummeting. There's just more problems than we can really name. The second paradigm or bucket is one that pretty much everybody will have heard of. It's on Facebook. It's on all of your social media, your newspapers. The governments talk about it. The UN talks about it. And it's this concept of sustainability. And I call it the sustainable paradigm. And if you look at the words that get used within that paradigm, there are things like net zero, xeriscaping your property. So that's turning your lawn into basically rocks, like basically a rock garden that does nothing, reducing your human footprint. And these fundamentally are quite negative, actually. They're kind of put forward as positive, but they're actually negative because what they're actually insinuating is that humans are inherently destructive and we have to reduce our footprint. And if you take that to its logical conclusion, it's the end of humans, essentially. I know that's a little bit hyperbolic, but that's kind of what it's implying. The regeneration paradigm is quite a bit different, and it's based in ecology and an understanding of how ecosystems function. And it starts with a bias or a belief that humans are nature. Like we are part of the planet. We are part of the ecosystem. And if we are part of the ecosystem, then there is no such thing as a zero footprint. We can't not have a footprint. Newton said it best when he said, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if we can't eliminate our footprint, then how do we optimize it? And one of the best stories that I love to tell, I live on 160 acres of land, about 80 hectares of land here in Canada, northern Alberta. And we have 2 streams on our property. We have about 8 beaver families actively managing those streams. And when we bought the property, the owner before us was shooting all the beavers. They've since returned in droves. And to the untrained eye, when I take somebody into our forest for a walk to walk along these creeks, they almost always say, wow, they're causing a lot of destruction. Like they're bringing all these trees down, and the forest looks like a disaster because of these beavers. And so I have to, and I love it when they say this because it gives me an opportunity to talk to them a little bit about what's actually going on. And so, yes, the beavers do take down the trees. They use the branches to build dams. They dam up the creek. We have probably 15 or 20 dams on these 2 creeks now. So literally millions and millions of liters of water are now getting held back. They're creating a stormwater management benefit to the watershed. And beavers actually eat the cambium layer, which is the layer that lives right underneath the bark of the poplar tree. That's their favorite food. And so they cut the trees down not only to build their dams, but also that's what they eat during the wintertime. And what most people don't know is that the act of the beaver building that dam and storing all of that water not only has a hydraulic effect or benefit, a hydrology benefit, but beavers will increase the background biodiversity by 28 times generally. So that means more birds, more insects, more mammals, more lizards, all of the things that an ecosystem creates. It's life, essentially. It's creating more life, more opportunity, more abundance. And so if we look at the beaver as creating, in ecological terms, disturbance, they're disturbing the ecosystem, they have a footprint, then what does the equivalent look like for humans? And so if humans have a footprint, then how do we optimize that footprint so that when we leave a place or when we're actively managing a place, that that our energy is actually creating opportunities for more life? Mm-hmm. And when we compare that to the conventional system and the sustainable system, the conventional system eliminates life and turns it into products, and basically treats nature as a landfill. The sustainable system looks at the human footprint as a liability and we should minimize it. The regenerative system says, no, we can have an effect, but it's our choice whether that effect is positive or negative or neutral. And actually, I would say that there is no such thing as neutral. We have to make a choice to either move towards more life or a choice towards less life.
Join the conversation at Fair Observer and subscribe to our YouTube channel.